Hello and welcome to Kengo's Cruising. In this episode, Lindsey and I will be having a short chat on our balcony to discuss the first few days of our cruise on Iona, when suddenly we're interrupted by a surprise guest. If you're enjoying our content, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell to be informed whenever we upload a new video.
Lindsey, here we are, sat on our balcony on Iona. Could I just ask for your first impressions of the ship?
I think, like most people, she's blown me away, really. She's beautiful. It's just so difficult to describe what she's like. She's got so many bits and pieces here, there and everywhere. Every corner you turn, it's different. There's pieces of artwork that are lovely. There's the corridors even are just made to look inviting. There are so many nooks and crannies that you can sit in. The atrium is stunning. It just goes on and on everywhere you go.
So Lindsey, you've been on board now for a few days. Could I ask what your opinion is of the entertainment that you've seen so far?
It's very varied. Last night we saw headliners doing their festival theatre production, which was brilliant, so well rehearsed. The scenery and the effects were amazing. They really showed off with what they can do with that stage and the different levels that they can have it at. That was extremely good, so well done to them there. There's been, we saw Tucker again, but it was really nice to see him a second time, and he was extremely funny. There's been a group called, a girl group called She. They were playing in the Dome on the same night as they had a laser light show in there. Well, the laser light show was amazing. And they were quite good actually. The sound, of course, in a dome can be a little bit piercing, but there's not a huge amount you can do about that, except depending on where you're sitting, depends on how loud it appears to you, because we walked through last night and there was a country singer and we found that she was much easier to listen to. Very nice voice actually. So you also have musicians, singers dotted around the ship, as you do with most ships, playing music and different genres of music. It's really nice to listen to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the officer of the watch speaking from the bridge, and the time is now 12 o'clock noon. Since our departure from Southampton, Iona has steamed a total distance of 571 nautical miles at an average speed of 8.5 knots. Our noon position is latitude 43 degrees 56.2 minutes north, 005 degrees 35.4 minutes west, which places us in the Cantabrian Sea, some 30 miles south of north of Ijon. On behalf of all of us on the bridge, we hope you have a fantastic day on board Iona.
We went to the Keel and Cow the other night for dinner. We've got some other options coming up soon. What was your impression of the Keel and Cow?
It was nice to have the option of a restaurant like that. It's more like to my mind, an upbeat steakhouse. There were some interesting options on there from the steak point of view, most of which were far too big for me to attempt. But there were plenty of other options. We actually had a melted cheese dip starter, which sounded a bit weird, but it actually was very nice. And then I had a steak and ale pie, which was very good, very tasty. And lovely mashed potato to go with it. Isn't that a treat? Unfortunately, the vegetables, especially the carrots, were a little bit more on the raw side than al dente.
In the Keel and Cow, I obviously had the same shared starter as you with the cheese, which I enjoyed. And then I went for the Prime Minister burger, arguably the best burger at sea. It was very nice. It was quite large, but it wasn't large enough to put me off, and I managed all of it. Served with fries that were a little bit greasy, but the burger itself came with blue cheese, tomato, lettuce, mayonnaise, onion and bacon, and it was a really nice burger. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
What's your view on My Holiday app, the way it works and how it's affected you?
Right. So the My Holiday app, I've got mixed opinions at the moment. We came on Saturday, obviously boarded the ship on Saturday, and we wanted to book certain restaurants because we'd heard that they get booked out quite quickly. We wanted to book the Olive Grove, so I tried to book the Olive Grove on Saturday when we got on board, and it wasn't on the My Holiday app. And you were told everywhere to book it on the My Holiday app, so that was a bit difficult. So we trotted along to the Olive Grove, saw one of the members of staff there, and she said that it was hiding temporarily. I said, oh, fine. So she booked us in, and there was no issue, so we couldn't do it that way. Quite a few people have had issues with it. Main dining room food is strange because you can only book a table up to 6 o'clock at night. After 6 o'clock at night in the main dining room, you have to just take your luck and join the queue. It's not too bad at the moment. We've had no issues at all in actually getting fed when we wanted to get fed. But there have been a few grumblings and rumblings. There was a slight issue at breakfast the other day where some people had booked and other people hadn't. And then when you got to the restaurant, there's two actual different queues that you go into for those that have booked and those that haven't. And some people got a little bit upset that people were going to the head of the queue because they'd pre-booked and others hadn't. So jury's out on My Holiday. You can book entertainment on there, but only some things. You seem to be able to book for the theatre, but all the other entertainment elsewhere you don't have to book. It's just a little confusing as to what you're supposed to use it for and what you're not supposed to use it for. But it worked perfectly this morning for breakfast. We were up in the balcony having a cup of tea, and I booked a table at the restaurant, and within 5 minutes I got the message through saying the table was ready, went down and went straight in. So it works well sometimes. So Lindsay, how are you finding the daytime activities on board?
Well, there's a mixed reaction there. A lot of the activities that we personally enjoy are either not running at all, such as the choir, or they are running in a very different manner. As they did on Britannia, you can loan out the equivalent to play shuffleboard or quoits, and you can have a half-hour session. They're doing that because there are so many people that want to use that equipment. So you can do that, but you can't have a competition as yet. That's obviously something that will come in the future. And that's fine, except that if you want to do archery, which they do on board, which I thought was really nice to do archery, they keep advertising every day that you can book in to archery before 11:15 in the morning. You go up there to book in to be told that it's sold out for the whole of the cruise. Why keep advertising the fact that you can go up there and book places if it's actually fully booked? The other activities we have done, what have we done?
We had the vocal coaching with this lovely Andy. He was a good laugh.
Yeah, instead of the choir, they're having vocal coaching, only a half-hour session. And there weren't that many of us that went to it, but my goodness did we have a laugh. Andy, who's the assistant entertainments manager, he is an absolute scream, and he turned COVID to his advantage with his comedy and really had the whole place chuckling along with him. But we actually did some interesting exercises for breathing and singing, and then had a bit of a sing with Delilah, our lovely Delilah. One of the things that we've been concerned about with regards to these big ships is the amount of space on board. How have you found it so far?
Well, according to the entertainment manager, Emma, who we've known for many years, there are 3,000 passengers on board, and the ship has a double occupancy capacity of 5,200, so we're just over half full. Space is fine. It feels very roomy and absolutely fine. Yesterday the weather wasn't quite so good for a while, and you felt like you had to look for a seat inside at some of the bars, but then you found other areas that were completely empty. Today the sun's out, beautiful sunshine. One side of the ship is packed, the other side is empty. So there are loads of sunbeds and things available for people.
Thank you for watching, and feel free to follow the links below to see more of our Iona content. Goodbye for now. See you soon.